What's going on, guys? Back with another Wizards video. It's been a little while. It's been like 2 weeks. I know the camera angle is different and everything. I'm trying to build a computer, PC, and all that good stuff. Last time I talked about the Wizards was 2 weeks ago. And what has happened in those 2 weeks since my last video? Last time I made a video, the Wizards had just lost, I believe, to the Denver Nuggets. And then they went on to lose to the Kings. They went on to lose to the Suns. But then something happened. They went on to beat the Utah Jazz. The Nets game got postponed. Then they went on to beat the New York Knicks. Lost to the 76ers and Heat back-to-back. And they just beat the Cavaliers yesterday. A lot has happened in these 2 weeks. With the COVID protocol, Raul Neto, Aaron Holiday, KCP, who came back against the Cavaliers, Bradley Beal, who just came back against the Cavaliers. Brad Wanamaker, who just played yesterday, on the COVID list now. Spencer Dinwiddie being added. It's just a lot. It's a lot that's going on with the team right now. And yeah, some G League guys getting a lot of play, especially against the Heat, and they looked ugly. But it's a couple things that I really noticed during those 2 weeks where I haven't uploaded. And one of my main takeaways is Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie has been playing really good basketball during that duration where Bradley Beal was gone and not playing while he was on the COVID list. Spencer Dinwiddie looked more aggressive. He looked more certain in what he was supposed to be doing on the court. It looked good. He looked good for the most part. Scoring the ball, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line. And that's what we saw more of during the earlier parts of the season when the Wizards were playing really good basketball. That's what we saw. And it was a stretch, a decent stretch where Dinwiddie would be having 2 shots going into the third, fourth quarter, etc., playing with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal went on the COVID list. Spencer Dinwiddie was playing by himself with no Bradley Beal. And if the past has taught us anything, he just has been playing better with Bradley Beal. And that trend continued. I wanted to see, this is why I was upset that he went on the COVID list before the Cavaliers game, because now that he had a certain amount of games under his belt in a row, because before it was like 1 game without Bradley Beal. But now this was like a stretch of like 3 games or something like that without Bradley Beal, where he was playing pretty consistently. He was playing very consistently. He looked good against the Knicks. He looked decent against the 76ers. He looked decent against the Heat. So I wanted to see how that would work when Bradley Beal came back. I would have hated for Bradley Beal to come back and then Spencer go back into that shell, that passive shell. That would have been like, that would have made me rage. But it sucked because then Spencer went on the COVID protocol list. So who knows when we'll see that. So Spencer Dinwiddie during these 2 weeks have definitely caught my eye. With no Bradley Beal, the way he's been playing, that's how we want him to play. That's what the fans want him to play. It's simple as that. And when Bradley Beal comes back, we don't want to see him revert back to that passive side. We want to continue to see him attack, continue to see him be aggressive. So next, I want to get into Bradley Beal. Last video I made, I was saying, the Wizards toast. Should the Wizards sign Bradley Beal to a max contract? How has he been playing? He was struggling. But he had a nice turnaround. That Jazz game, he played really well. That Jazz game, I believe, let me check the stats real quick. He had 37 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. He played really well. He played really well against the Jazz. And it seemed like he was on a little roll. He was on a little roll where he got hot, and then bam, COVID list. I was afraid because I thought, man, Bradley Beal was just heating up. He seemed like he was playing better. And that Jazz game was just like topping it off right there. Beating the Jazz in Utah. Really good game from Brad. And then bam, COVID list. So I was upset. I was like, dang, that kind of just cuts off all your momentum right there. That cuts off all of your momentum. But yesterday against the Cavaliers, Bradley Beal came in. It looked like he didn't miss a beat. He's vaccinated now. So you got the new memes, you got Vaxxed Brad, you got Fitzer Brad. I mean, whatever you want to call him. But he came in against the Cavaliers. He had 29, 6, and 10. He had a really good game against the Cavaliers. It's like he didn't miss a beat. And I'm glad to see him playing better and more of at that all-star level. You know, right now, currently, a lot of people don't have him as an all-star. Or not even as an all-star reserve. And I couldn't disagree with that. I mean, maybe he gets in all as a reserve due to coaches. But if he continues to play like this and the Wizards can stay above 500, like they got back to above 500 after beating the Cavaliers, then maybe, you know, that all-star reserve is more in play for Brad. So Bradley Beal, definitely, I'm confident. I'm happy with what I'm seeing with his play as of late. I mean, that's what Wizards fans wants to see. They not only want to see the 27, 28-point games, 30, 35-point games, they also want to see him come along with the W's. You know, and if Spencer Dinwiddie can play like how Spencer Dinwiddie was playing when Brad was on the COVID list, and Bradley Beal continues to play how he's been playing as of late, that's a really good start because the backcourt is really the driving force for the Wizards' success. You know, outside of defense, etc., how well the backcourt is playing is going to go a long way into the Wizards' success because Bradley Beal and Spencer Dinwiddie are supposed to be the 1s and 2 on this team right now. And they weren't playing like the 1 and 2 earlier on. But it seems like Spencer Dinwiddie, of course we'll see how he looks as he's on the COVID list. Maybe this is a good break for him. You know, rest the knees up, come back refreshed, etc. Hopefully it was just maybe like a close contact thing and he didn't actually have COVID. So, I mean, the Wizards, if they can, they got a nice home stretch. They got a nice home stretch. It's tough teams. They got the Bulls next. If they can stay above water, you know, stay above 500, going into that All-Star break, man, you see what you can do as far as being buyers. Because I don't think the Wizards will be sellers at the deadline. I really don't. But lastly, I kind of want to hit on Deni Avdija, man. I really like to talk about Deni Avdija. Deni Avdija has been extremely impressive to me. Now, last night I know he struggled, you know, with the open threes, and you see some of his flaws with the lack of having a right hand, etc. But I think Deni Avdija has stepped up to the plate. I think in my last video 2 weeks ago, he's grown offensively. He's been more aggressive offensively. Against the Cavaliers, with all the point guards being missed, he got some time at the 1. He got some time playing at the 1. So that was big. But defensively, he's been doing a tremendous job. I mean, extremely impressive. Offensively, obviously, there's always room to grow, and that's the more of the area where you want to see him grow. Defensively, he's been doing great. Now you just want to continue to see the offense catch up. And I think he's been doing a good job of that, man. I haven't seen him be this confident offensively, you know, in his NBA career, his young NBA career under Scott Brooks. It seemed like times where he was, you know, not really sure of himself, etc. And this season, especially recently, you know, he's getting to the basket. He's shooting his open threes, whether they're going in or not. He's continuing to shoot them. He's continuing to try to get to the basket, show some off the dribble game, show a little bit of that playmaking as well. So that's all. I love to see all that, man. And I think Deni continues to grow at a really good rate. I've been impressed with his play. I really have been impressed with his play. And I know a lot of people are like, Deni should start. Why isn't Deni starting? Me personally, I feel like Deni's more comfortable off of the bench. And you can always play 30-plus minutes coming off the bench. You can play 30-plus minutes coming off the bench and close lineups coming off the bench, etc. You don't need to start. From what I've seen, Deni look more comfortable coming off the bench rather than starting. But I just wanted to throw some Deni Avdija love in there too because he's been playing well. I think he's been playing well. Obviously, there's always room for growth. And I think as the season continues, we'll continue to see that growth as well. All the Deni fans who subscribe to my channel, I've been on Deni since his rookie year. You know, I've been talking about his potential as well. And a lot of people have been seeing it this season especially. So that's good. Just to hit some minor notes, Daniel Gafford, impressive. I think he's been impressive. 30 plus minutes last night. That's what you love to see. 30 plus minutes, man. That's what you want to see from Daniel Gafford. 5 blocks in 1/2 against the Cavaliers. That's not easy to do. And a lot of people feel like Daniel Gafford can be a starter. I feel like Daniel Gafford can be a starter as well. He's young. He's a young guy, so there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be games like against the 76ers with Joel Embiid where he gets those 2 fouls and he's out of the game fast. Especially with Montrezl Harrell on the COVID list as well. You know, you really need him to step up big. And there's no real big man right behind Daniel like Montrez was while he was available. But if Daniel Gafford could be that 30-plus minutes guy at the 5 position as he grows and gets older, continues to do his best to stay out of that foul trouble, he could be a really good starting 5 in this league, man. I really do believe that. But there's going to be growing pains, man. There's going to be games where he goes against these elite bigs and they may get him in foul trouble early. But it's all growing pains. He's a young guy. He's growing. You know, this is his first season starting like as a real starting 5. You know, it's his first season. He's a young guy, like I said, similar to Deni. You got to let these kids grow. You got to let them grow. We've already seen the flashes. We've already seen the potential. So, all in all, how I feel about the Wizards right now, just stay afloat, 1 game above 500. Looking at the upcoming schedule, they got some tough ones, but they're at home. The Wizards play better at home. They got the Bulls coming up tomorrow. They got the Hornets on Monday. They got the Rockets on my birthday, January 5th on Wednesday. They got the Rockets on my birthday. I was going to go to that game because I thought at this point, obviously, I thought Wall would be playing. But this is before I knew all this BS they're doing with him. But let's try to rack up some wins, man. Everybody's beat up right now with COVID. Everybody's missing some guys. A lot of people are missing players. So it's time to try to snag some wins, man. The Wizards are missing guys too. But similar to the Cavaliers, it's time to take advantage. The Cavaliers were missing Ricky Rubio, obviously, towards ACL. Jared Allen wasn't playing. Darius Garland wasn't playing. It's time to take advantage of that. And at home and try to stack up some wins and keep afloat. Just keep afloat, man. But that's all I got for you guys. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the Wizards' span of play as of late and anything about specific players as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.